Hey guys, today we're gonna show you how one of our clients made $91,000 in February, and we're gonna show you exactly how you can do it too. Stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss this.
We're gonna show you one campaign that made us almost all of the money and that nobody else is really using when they're creating Facebook or Instagram ads. Hey y'all, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Christian, we're the co-founders of Bit Branding. We want to welcome you if you're new to this channel. We've been in business for over 5 years and we've helped hundreds of businesses scale online.
Make sure that you subscribe. We drop new videos every single week. Okay guys, so I actually want to show you the inside of the Shopify store and I want to refresh the page here just because I know some people on YouTube will just show you some screenshots and they won't actually show you anything. So you would have seen there's a page reloaded. This is actually March. I'll even show you what now, March, so we can go back to this. This is as the time of recording, you can see what's going on. So February of 2021, they made $91,634. So 28 days, I think they would have probably hit their $100,000 month if we had a full month. But this is the real numbers here. So I just wanted to show you some proof that we're not just taking a screenshot. This is actually what this business did. But before we can do that, I think we should talk a little bit more about who the client is. And that all really started like at the beginning of the business, one of our first clients.
Yeah, so it was a boutique, and we've been actually experimenting and doing a lot of different things with them. This type of strategy that we're moving into right now is completely different, completely new. And it's something that obviously from March of 2020, when the pandemic hit, up until now is when we've actually been implementing a lot of the things that we're gonna talk about today on this video. So this is not something that you can just do in 1 month and hit 91,000. It's something that takes a little bit of time, but is absolutely possible for any of you who are watching right now.
Yeah, so to talk about the strategy a little bit more, to give you guys an idea, in March of 2020, and probably some encouragement, she was spending $400 per month. So that's a very good budget to start with if you're a new business or e-commerce, but that's where she was too. And then the pandemic hit and she had a brick and mortar store and had to close it up because, as you know, most places force everything online or from their home. So what we did at that point and our past strategy was, okay, find something that was really good. Maybe she had a dress or a shirt or whatever else that was, run traffic to or paid advertising to the website and then try to get people who didn't purchase and get them to come back. Because with that kind of budget, you really can just send people to the site, hope that the website converts, and then if they don't convert, try to run a retargeting ad. That's really all the money that we had there. But she either had two choices. One, grow the business and go all in on advertising, which we had been begging her to do. There's been many times where we said, hey, what's going on? You know, like you're doing well enough with this $400 budget, let's scale it. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. My boutique, the in-store, that's where it's all at. So that's when we came up with a strategy in March of 2020 and started implementing the 5 steps to make her business super successful and why she had an amazing month in February. And if you know anything about retail, you know that January, February, March are typically down months. So for her to have this kind of month in February means that she's doing really, really well. All right, so the strategy that we implemented was to start focusing on mainly, I guess, 80 to 90% of new traffic, meaning people who had never heard of her brand. Previously, she had a group of people who were within 10, 20, 30-mile radius who knew exactly who she was and what she was about, and they purchased from her loyally. But now our approach was to expand it all over the United States, get her brand in front of as many people as possible, and let those people make a decision on whether or not they were going to do business with her. Now, she does an amazing job of engaging with her audience, and it's all part of the rest of the strategy and the tactics that we're going to mention here in a second. But because she was able to do this and because she jumped all in on the advertising side and kind of embraced our strategy, it really helped her to hit full speed by summertime. So we had a couple of months where we were trying everything out, and then by summer she was in full speed with the new process and she started to trust the process, and the results followed from that. So we're going to jump into the tactics here of how that all played out for her and how February became that $91,000 month.
And if you're new to the store or trying to find the best apps for your store, for your Shopify store, you definitely need to check out this video somewhere along here. It's going to be in the description down below as well, so check it out. So tactic number 2, after you figured out the strategy, is email. Email is super important for any winning e-commerce strategy to increase sales of your store. So what they were doing before was just sending one newsletter, probably like once a month, ish. So they weren't even that consistent with that newsletter. And maybe sending blog posts here and there. But all in all, they were not doing too much with email. So that's where we came in and sort of revamped the way that they did email.
All right, so now what we did and we implemented was segmentation. So there's two ways that we segmented. One, if they were taking action on the site, say for example, they added a car, initiated checkout, or even made a past purchase, we segmented those audiences because we wanted to treat them differently than audiences who didn't do any actions on the site. The second way that we segmented them was by their interests. So if they went to a site and they were interested in dresses, or if they were interested in tops, or if they were interested in graphic tees, whatever they were interested in, we segmented them into a list so that when we created content, we would then send them only things that they were interested in. So if Christian is interested in tops or dresses only, we would only show him tops or dresses versus sending all the emails to everybody, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes people make is, hey, I have an email list and it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because it's not personalized. So what we did was we personalized that emails that went out and we segmented them to the right people and sent them out at the right time. So that's step number 2 you absolutely have to have in place. It should be 20 to 30% of the business.
Yeah, and the software that we use is ActiveCampaign. You can definitely use that too. Aaron's going to show you right now our open rates, click-through rates, and some example emails that we've done for this client.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're interested in ActiveCampaign and want a free trial, you can click below and grab a link for that as well. Okay, so inside of here, this is actually something that they sent. It's called an apricot blouse. This is actually sent in March, but this is just the same type of email that we're sending here. Sent to 5,400 people. And the most important thing here is the open rate and click-through rate. So open rate, 21%. It's great. It's probably still getting a little bit of more opens. We like to at least be at that 20%. Click-through rate, want to be at that 2 to 3%, and that's where they're at. And then really cool, what's awesome about ActiveCampaign and what you can see here is that this particular email that took a little bit of time to send made $1,200, and it's still adding up money because ActiveCampaign takes a little bit to get all of the information here. But just this one email that they sent yesterday made $1,200. Same kind of thing that we were doing in February. We're sending out 2 to 3 emails per week to a segmented audience, in addition to automated emails, like we mentioned earlier, for people who added to cart, people who purchased. There's automations going out for them as well. But this manual email that went out to 5,000 people made $1,200 from them just from that one. And I anticipate that to actually even be more.
All right, now, if you like the ActiveCampaign and being able to see a little bit of the back end there, comment email down below if you want to see a video of exactly how we set up our email campaign automations inside of ActiveCampaign.
All right, and if you like email, you're going to love combining email with the #1 campaign that nobody uses. This is amazing, and I can't believe more brands are not spending more time on it because it's got a huge ROI.
Now, before we jump into the last tactic, we must cover live selling. Live selling is an absolute game changer for brands that I believe are now on Facebook, for example. We've done a lot of live selling within Facebook, and the first taste that we had with live selling was actually an experience randomly on Facebook. It was maybe a couple of years ago. I was browsing through Facebook, I believe browsing through Facebook live videos, and I saw this girl who had thousands of people who were watching her, and I ended up watching her for a long time. And what she was doing, she wasn't using any type of software or anything like that. She was live, and she was opening pearl shells. I don't know what they're called.
Oysters?
But the clams, oysters, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she had this knife, and she was just opening live. There was like the water stuff just falling off of them. And then she would like move the membrane and the stuff around, and she would show you the pearl. There were different color pearls, so that was the reason why people were watching live, because the people who watched live had already bought the pearls. So she was doing like a live reveal of the color and the type of pearl that you got.
I'm Becky or whatever, and I knew that I got a pearl, but I just didn't know which one yet.
Right, exactly. You buy the clams basically just sealed, so you don't know what you're getting. But on that live video, you will basically get. And she was also doing basically encouraging people to purchase on their website. So it was sort of a type of live selling on Facebook, but not to the extent that we're using with our clients right now. And with this particular client, that's just killing it with live selling.
So the software that we know most or best anyway is Comment Sold. There's another service out there called Buy It Live. There's probably so many other ones out there, but let me show you exactly how this happens. So if you can see here, this is the last live before vacay. I guess they're going down to the beach. It's spring break time right now. So what they're doing is they're going live at their studio or at their office, and they go live for 20, 30 minutes. And you can see here that somebody commented sold 101. So what they're doing on the video is talking about the product and how to wear it or how you can use it in real life. And it
Talk about the material.
Right, exactly. Explaining what you would get if you were in a real life experience like at a mall. So it's kind of like the next best thing. What's great for you as an e-commerce owner is that as soon as they comment sold, that message is sent directly to your customer and the purchase happens directly. You don't have to worry about invoicing. You don't have to worry about anything. Live selling that way is a game changer. So think about all the time that you're going to save by doing it. So any product-based business that can explain something like this is huge. And what I will tell you, and you can see from that screenshot, is that a significant amount of money came from comments sold. These are all people who have engaged with them and now come back and shop live. So for this one anyway, she reached like 2,000 people. It's probably one of her smaller ones. 43 comments are people who are interested, and they're buying right there. They tell them what size that they want, and then they purchase right there and say, okay, look, $27 order. Looks like 183 people are live through the app, and they're purchasing right there live on Facebook. So in 20, 30 minutes, you could make thousands of dollars. So cool. And if you look inside of Shopify, what you'll see here is comments sold. This doesn't mean that all the sales were attributed from comments sold. What it means is that this was the last thing that they did online. But you can see that a good chunk of revenue came through comments sold. How they came there initially, there's a long process for how they came in there. It's not linear, but you can see that comments sold generated a significant amount of money for them in February.
If you've been loving these tactics, we actually created a private 15-minute training that walks you through the 5 key areas to grow, scale your online store profitably. The link is in the description down below. Make sure you click on it.
Okay, so what you've been waiting for, drum roll. Okay, hold on. What you've been waiting for is the #1 type of ad that we tell you to run, or we suggest that you run, that we've seen amazing results with for all of our apparel brands when they're selling online through Facebook and Instagram, is the collection ad. The collection ad is a video on top or an image on top with a variety of the products below shown on mobile. So I'll show you kind of what this looks like on desktop, but what this allows you to do is quickly get in front of your audience and let your audience see what kind of products that you have and easily click to go check out that product and go purchase. So if they like it, they will go purchase a lot easier. And what I will tell you is that most people that I see brand-wise, except for the top 1% who have the budget, are not doing these types of ads. And this is just kind of a quick look at what does well. So you can see here, we actually did a lookalike of people who added to cart and past purchases for $20 purchases. But what is most important here, and if we can scroll over here, we spent about $10,000 on this. This is just lifetime for this particular collection. It's made 3 times our money, and it's made us roughly $34,000. I'm going to pull up real quickly. It doesn't matter if it's an image or a video. I'm just going to show you the style of video that's running. So as you can see here, this is what it would be mobile only. And that's probably another big key, is that it's only shown on mobile. You can't do it on desktop. So mobile for Facebook, mobile for Instagram. It's got an image up top, multiple products down below. And you can see here, without us pinging it to go to mobile, there's 114 comments. I believe there's 400, 500, 600 people who connected there, and 32 shares. The reason that collections do so well is because it lets you easily see the product, the brand, and it accumulates social proof. When you do something like a regular ad and you don't combine social proof, it lessens the amount of return on investment you're going to have, because there's not as many people who are saying this is a good ad. Well, if you came across this particular video and you saw hundreds of people who liked it and hundreds of people who engaged with it and 32 shares, you're likely to stop too, and you're likely to click through as well. So it just kept building upon each other that way. So that is the #1 way that we have seen for apparel brands to sell more products online. You've got to have a collection ad inside of your repertoire, or your basket here, I guess so you would say. All right, and so just real quickly, this is kind of a bonus, is that if you check out this video here, we did really quick, fast shots, letting people know this was actually for fall, but this type of video, this is specifically for the video here, showing people what's going on. It's quick, fast shots, telling them that fall is here, spring is here. It does not matter where you insert this, but this type of video is what gets people to stop, take action. And as you can see here, this particular one made $18,000 for them. 3.2 times, so 300+% return on investment on that style of video.
We want to hear from you. What was the most insightful thing that you learned from this video? Let us know in the comments.
All right, guys, so if you found anything of value in this video, so literally anything, you got anything out of ActiveCampaign, the ad type, anything, we would just truly appreciate it if you would make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe so you can continue to get our videos. We put new ones out every single week to help people like you grow your business online.
See you next week.
Bye.